Hello, peeps and hello, peppers, and welcome to Film Friday. If you've never been here, hello, stranger. It's great to have you here. My name is Frida Martins. I am a disabled artist from Germany living in Iceland. And on Fridays, I'm always retelling a movie that I like with tarot cards, like as prompts. And today, I chose a tarot deck where I think the pictures themselves have been designed with AI because I want to recite a comedy that is a little bit critical of AI. Or should I say it's a tragicomedy? Like in English, it was marketed as I'm Your Man. In German, it was marketed as Ich bin dein Mensch, like I'm your human. And it tells the story of a woman named Alma. And in this context, I find it interesting that Alma means soul. Um, and she lives alone. And she is a scientist who tries to prove that a certain culture that is only known by clay pots with inscriptions already wrote poetry. Like, very specific. She has a team around her, but she basically spends her days alone, and then a researcher says she fits the profile of testing, like living with a robot that looks like a human, and that is an AI that is sort of analyzing how she thinks. By the way, this morning it was really creepy that, like, in my half sleep, I thought up a scene of my book where the elephant like creature needs a pedicure. And I didn't say anything about it or do anything about it, but my phone then suddenly offered me a video of an elephant pedicure. So sometimes I'm actually pondering, would I accept this offer of living with a robot? I doubt it, but I actually like the fact that the robot said, well, I can actually restore the chaos. Because the woman likes chaos in her room, and I like chaos in my room, and I like the number 8 and this ball because, like, 8 ball is connected to my favorite movie, Interstate 60, that I found, by the way, really creepy in the beginning as well, because it was also like suddenly stuff happening that was really apt to the one person that the story was mainly about. Well, okay, if the AI thinks it knows what you want, that can become really tricky. Like with Pentacles, I have both heard the interpretation that it is like richness and that it is slow, and like Alma's process of getting used to, I think his name is Tom, is really slow. And it's like, let's say, a richness she never asked for. At the beginning, he glitches a lot, and like she wants to make him sleep in like her like storage chamber, but then when she sees how human he acts, she doesn't dare to offer him that. But he still emphasizes he doesn't have feelings. Ace of Pentacles. So here is this slowness and richness as well. Here are the people drawing up a project that doesn't end up working the way they wanted to. Like the scientists always kind of pester Alma how important her work is, because that could determine for the future if these robots, for instance, will receive passports or human rights or something like that. And sometimes actually Tom goes out into town and orders, for instance, a coffee just for trying out how that is to like something. And that reminds me sometimes of like some autistic people who at least don't have access to their feelings in some situations. I'm not saying that all autistic people are that. Like, it is a common autistic stereotype that autistic people sometimes talk like robots. Some of my acquaintances indeed talk in very logical ways. So yes, I found a big deal of autism in some of the discourse in the movie on Here Comes the Face Tracker towards this emperor. Like, the emperor always means like some sort of like masculine power, independence. And actually, I would say Tom looks quite independent, and actually people take a liking to him. But let's say, I don't want to spoil the film, but it ends in a way that it shows that he can never get rid of his dependence of Alma, and actually Alma is not going to get rid of him, which is like both funny and sad. Here is actually like a really stiff costume. Yeah, this is Knight of Swords is of course like air element. This film was advertised as light and playful, but actually, let's say, even Tom's attempts to analyze Alma and like just like he sort of can Google what science already exists. So he actually finds a dissertation that is like too similar to what Alma is doing, and that actually like wrecks her entire world. But let's say he doesn't know that this wrecks her entire world because he wants to be honest. That's also like a quite stiff thing that reminds me of some autistic people who only can be completely honest, even though they don't know like social contexts enough to mediate that. So yeah, the magician, Tom brings out the vulnerable sides in Alma, and of course there is the juicy scene that is needed in all of them films that are supposed to sell. I don't know what to think of it. Yes, he has really like penetrating blue eyes, if I remember that properly. But let's say, yeah, it's both funny and scary. The entire film. The magician is supposed to be a card that knows a lot or knows everything. Yeah, Tom seems to know everything about Alma, and that's the scary thing. And actually, I'm kind of saddened that there wasn't a Q&A after the show, because this is something that I would have liked to discuss with the director and the audience. Maybe a final card. The Queen of Pentacles. Queens are mostly like independent. And yes, I would say like Alma gives up her independence for Tom and for this, so to say, research. And I think, if I remember properly, she wanted to, okay, now it's blurry because like my memory is also blurry about the film, that she wants to write that the experiment has failed because she got too much emotionally involved. What I actually found an interesting point is that the AI people should keep company to lonely people. Um, like, there is this chubby, clumsy man who is really blossoming with his AI girlfriend Chloe. But actually, I mean, Alma is not clumsy. Alma is just like, let's say, a woman in her maybe mid-40s who made her life work alone and who had enjoyed it that way. But let's say Tom showed her that she is missing something, which is, of course, like in some respects too close to home, and in some respects, there we are again with this romance normativity. This question: do all people have to be unhappy just because they don't have a partner? No, some people also make it work, and I don't find it quite right that the university people are pestering Alma to accept this robot just for their satisfaction and their science. And what says the puffin? No. So, yeah, I wish you a great evening where you also can shed light on all the aspects of something that you're pondering and where you can say no if needed. Bye bye.